Greg O'Keefe, Everton handed a huge boost going into tomorrow's derby. Leighton Baines has signed a new 4-year deal with the club.
Yeah, I mean, it's been talked about for a few weeks now, after a summer and an initial January period when the rumours about possible move to Manchester United resurfaced, and Everton supporters were always biting their nails and wondering whether or not that might happen, the lure of Champions League and being reunited with David Moyes. But I think, from the player and from the club, there was always the hope that they could find a solution and agree to keep one of the most important players at the club for probably the rest of his career. Leighton's 29 now. His new contract is for 4 years. So that'll bring him up to 33 when, it might well be that he's, knowing how fit and focused and professional he is, he may well still be performing at the highest level. But you'd like to think there's a good chance of him finishing his career at Everton now. It's his boyhood club, and it's just a tremendous boost, especially with the Merseyside Derby, only just over 24 hours away.
And as well, with the news about Oviedo at the weekend, that was a kind of horror incident that footballers have nightmares about, wasn't it? It wasn't malice, it just happened. Just
sheer, terrible bad luck. You're right, there wasn't anything malicious in the challenge. Brian was probably in the process of committing a half-hearted foul when he tried to track back with the best intentions to win the ball, and it just so happened his studs caught in the turf. I have to say it was a terrible surface, and the Stevenage manager had spoken before the game about almost relishing how bad their pitch was going to be, so that's disappointing, but nevertheless it's still a freak accident, no one's to blame. And I think the most heartening thing, if anything's heartening from it, has been the support for Brian from the club, which hopefully he's felt. I know he's tweeted about that, and it's been felt back in his native Costa Rica. He will have surgery today, and Roberto Martinez has already said, using that incredible power of positivity, he's not going to rule out Brian being fit for the World Cup. Now that's important because first and foremost, Brian's a Costa Rican international, and Costa Rica of course are qualified for the World Cup in Brazil in the summer. And let's face it, they're not going to qualify for every World Cup. It's a massive moment for Brian, and it might be the only chance in his career he can get to play in a tournament at that level. So it's horrendous timing for him, and if he could somehow recover, talking about 5 months from a double fracture, it'd be a tremendous boost for him, and I'm sure every Evertonian will be wishing him well.
Yeah, we're here at Finch Farm. It's one of the most modern training complexes in the country, isn't it? Everything here will be geared towards getting him fit again for Everton and for Costa Rica.
Well, absolutely, yeah, and of course the priority is getting him fit for Everton because he's been a tremendous asset for the Blues this season. I think a lot of fans probably couldn't have seen it coming. In all fairness, he was an perennial understudy under David Moyes, who signed him, of course, from FC Copenhagen, and his remit seemed to be to sit on the bench and wait if Leighton Baines would ever get injured, which was very, very rare. That happened this season, as it happens, and Brian stepped in, was galvanised by the belief and self-confidence that Roberto Martinez is able to give players, and has just never looked back. And all of a sudden he's looked like a tremendous player, whether it's left back, right midfield, left midfield, and a huge sort of asset for the side. So in a selfish sense, ahead of the derby and it's some important fixtures in the race for fourth, he's a massive loss, and he will be missed.
And finally, you talked about that belief and self-confidence Roberto Martinez does give players. Yeah. He'll be dishing that out in spades, won't he, over the next day on the training ground to get the boys' hopes up to go and win at Anfield tomorrow. Yeah,
and that's the key, I think, that belief and that positivity, and the way he has a way of infusing players with that. Brian Oviedo is a great example that we've just spoken about, and the record books don't bode well for Everton going to Anfield. They haven't won since 1999. But one thing Roberto Martinez has done this season, he's made a habit of turning the record books on their head. Of course, they went to Old Trafford and won for the first time in almost 20 years. They've gone and outplayed Arsenal at the Emirates. They've looked capable of getting big results against the top sides in the league. And I think he's just spoken in there then and during his press conference about Everton fans, rather than looking at the fixture with a mixture of nerves and trepidation, to look at it with a feeling of relish, and to go there and relax and enjoy the football the team will play. And I think that's the message you'll be given to the players too. Go and enjoy it.